Hello. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to Friday Night Hangout. Welcome, 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 welcome. It's always a pleasure to be here every Friday. Let me give some more time for people to join in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome in, welcome in.
Oh yeah, it's a Friday night. It's Friday night hangout. Let's celebrate. A season of new beginnings. Let's rejoice. Thank God it's Friday. It's Friday night hangout. Let's celebrate. A season of new beginnings. Let's rejoice. Thank God it's Friday.
Okay. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to another interesting episode of the Friday Night Hangout. Woo! I'm super excited, always excited to be here. It's always a pleasure to hang out with you. And for the next 30, 40 minutes, we're going to have an amazing time together. So if this is your first time of joining in, just welcome. This is an amazing tribe. I'm your host, Joy Onyeso, and it's always a pleasure to have you join the Friday Night Hangout tribe. In this space, we have conversations on topical issues. We co-create solutions together. We talk about everyday issues that will make you a better and the best version of yourself. I'm excited to be here. I see you, Judeka. I see you, Mr. Shula. I see you, IJ. Thank you for joining in. And please do permit or do forgive me if I don't call your name. Sometimes there is delayed transmission and I don't get to see your name. So do forgive me ahead of time. Okay. The conversations is still on this month of February. We're talking about inspired actions, and we decided to focus on um, self love. We're going to look at different aspects of self love. For this week in particular, we're going to be talking about self worth. Self worth. So, get yourself ready. I'm excited to IJ. It's always very real, frank conversations here. One that you can really relate with, one that you can, you know, contribute to. Don't forget to use the comment section. I always like to hear your thoughts. Please do put your questions on the chat box. Please put your comments also in the chat box. I will read it out as I see it. And don't forget, I will be asking you to give me your takeaways from the session. I'll always love to be sure that you have some nuggets that you can apply right away. Okay, now we're going to talk about self worth. What is self worth? And how can you build your self worth as an adult? I like to keep it simple. Now, when you recognize that you're a good person, when you recognize that you deserve respect, when you recognize that you're a person of value, it means that you have a sense of self worth. So, self worth is simply you understanding that you are a good person, you deserve respect, you deserve to be valued, and that you're unique. Now, this is very important. A number of us do not have a good sense of self worth. We don't value ourselves. We don't think that we're worthy. We don't think that we're deserving. And that itself is very problematic. It presents in the way we relate in relationships. It also presents a challenge in the way we go about our daily task. It presents a challenge in our mindset. I keep saying that your mindset, the kind of mindset you have, affects your thought process, affects the actions that you take, and of course, affects the results that you get. So that's why we are focusing on self love this month of February. We want us to take inspired actions. What do we mean by inspired actions? Actions that comes from a place of deep reflection, actions that come from a place of knowing, a place of believing, knowing that when you do this stuff, when you take these steps, you will become the best version of yourself. And what is one of the best ways to start off? By really starting from yourself, loving yourself. You can't give what you don't have. And we're looking at some aspects of self love, and chief among them is self worth. You understanding who you are, understanding that you're worthy. You are really worthy. You don't need anyone to tell you anything different. If you understand that you're worthy, if you understand that you're deserving of respect, there's certain form of abuse you would not take. There are certain relationships you wouldn't get into, and there are certain people you will keep away from. There are also certain actions that you feel confident to take because you know that you do not require external validation. We may look at it as something very simple. Oh, I have a high sense of self worth, but it takes time for you to really. I always like talking about reflection, because when you reflect, you think deep. When you reflect, you think holistically as well. You put one and two together. You think in the big picture. You also look at the small things around you. You connect the dots. Hi, Teachers Council. That is Ozioma. Whoa, nice, nice, nice. I see a new Facebook page here, Teachers Consult. Ozibeke, congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. Ezine, thank you for joining in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And please don't forget to use the comment section. I want to know your thoughts. I want to know your experiences. And then if you have any question at all, please do put it in here. Hello, Chiamaka Vivian. Nice to have you join in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we are continuing the conversation on self-love, and we are focusing on self-worth. Knowing that you're worthy, knowing that you deserve respect. You don't allow people to talk down at you. You don't allow people to mistreat you. Hi, Fina. Nice to have you here. Thank God it is Friday. Welcome on board. And the conversation is on. We're having a conversation on self worth. So you don't allow people to mistreat you. There are some people that have A1, A++ in mistreating people, in talking down on people. They feel that, you know, you're not up to their standard. Listen, your self worth is not dependent on your job, it's not dependent on your bank account, it's not dependent on the relationships that you have, it's not dependent on your marriage, it's not dependent on your beauty, it's not dependent on how well you speak, it's not dependent on your intelligence, it's not dependent on the number of followings that you have on social media. You are worthy because you're a unique human being. You are worthy because you are human. So it shouldn't be dependent on any of those man made categories or any of those social categories. And because most people do not understand this, they tend to look down on people who are not in their same social class. They tend to look down on people who are doing certain jobs. So we find out that you are hustling to make ends meet. You have a job that puts food on your table, but you are ashamed to talk about it because you feel that the job is beneath you, because it doesn't meet up to certain standards or certain criteria. And then you feel that, it's beneath you. You don't want people to know. You hide what you do. It means you don't have a sense of self-worth. You need to be proud of who you are. You need to be proud of wherever you are at that point in time, because those things do not define you. They don't define you at all. and you shouldn't let that define you. But sadly, a number of us have allowed these social categories man-made barriers to define who we are and how we show up. So, for instance, I want to use the one we can all readily identify with. I want to start from the social media. The social media is such a force right now that for some persons, when you don't have a large following, when people don't like your post, when people don't comment on your post, you feel sad, sometimes even to the point of depression, because for you, that is a validation that you desire. And you feel that because people don't like, people don't comment, you don't have a large following, it means that you're not good enough. Who told you you're not good enough? Who said you're not good enough? That you're not very visible on that space doesn't mean that you're not good enough. There are other aspects of your life that are amazing. So don't allow certain aspects of your life to define you or to make you feel that you're not worthy. For some persons, their sense of self worth is tied to their job. They believe, oh, I am this. I'm a manager. I'm a CEO. And you feel so good about yourself. But the goodness you feel about yourself is as a result of that position you occupy or the job you find yourself doing. And you know what happens? If, unfortunately, when life happens and that job is taken away or you lose that position, you go into depression because you feel you're not good enough. You're not worthy because you tied your sense of value to that job. So, what are we talking about tonight? We're saying that you need to value yourself. You need to place a premium on yourself. You need to be kind to yourself. This may seem like everyday conversation, like conversation that is, it's you should know now. But honestly, some of the problems that a number of persons are facing are because of this, issues, not having a proper understanding of themselves, of their self-worth, of their self-value, and then you run into situations. So when people speak toxic words at you, you internalize it and you start seeing yourself through the lenses of those biased people's minds. And that's why tonight I'm telling us that you shouldn't tie your sense of respect, your sense of value to what people say or how people treat you. Sometimes when people do not know how to handle you, or people feel that your light is shining so brightly, let me put it that way, those toxic kind of people would feel good by trying to pull you down. So what do you do? If you understand that you're valuable, if you understand that you deserve respect, you won't stand for it. And it's not by being violent. I don't preach violence in any way at all. You detach yourself from such situations. What I've seen, with a number of survivors of abuse, especially domestic violence, intimate partner violence, is that there is a low sense of self worth. What happens is when you're in such situation, the first thing the bully does is to attack your sense of value. That he or she attacks it, drains you of it, and you become so dependent that you feel you're nothing outside that relationship. So some persons are still in a relationship that is so toxic because they feel that without that relationship, there is nothing good about them. There is nothing worth respecting about them. And it's so sad that even in our climb, we see it. So you have this set of people, men, women who are married, and they feel that when they come across single mothers, when they come across single matured ladies or single matured men, they don't respect them because they feel that they are not married and so they are not responsible. So if you belong to this class, you have an attitude problem. If you think that people's self-worth is tied to their marital status, then you have a problem. You have a serious problem. And sometimes you see friends who are having a very beautiful relationship. And because maybe one of them gets married, all of a sudden she feels that her single friend, is no longer worthy of her attention and all of those. What is all that about? So we have to be very intentional. We live in a society where people think they have the right to, define how people should behave or how people should be respected or how people should be treated based on their value system. And so it's your duty to show people how to love you, to show people how to treat you, to show people how to respect you by doing so to yourself. If you don't love yourself, if you don't respect yourself, if you don't value yourself, how then do you think someone else will do that? No one will love you more than you love yourself. So it all starts from you. It all starts from you. Don't allow people to put you down. Don't allow people to treat you anyhow. When you see red flags of abuse, please flee. You're worthy of love. A number of women are in toxic relationship today because they feel they are not worthy to be loved. And so when you find someone showing you love and being toxic at the same time, you will tend to overlook that abuse and want to focus on the inconsistent love that is shown to you. And the abuse just keeps getting worse and worse and worse until it becomes a situation. So tonight I want to let you know that you're worthy of being loved. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. You don't need to buy the love of anyone because you're enough as you are. You're simply enough the way you are. Yes, you may have some weaknesses, but that doesn't mean that you're not worthy. Everyone has some form of weaknesses. We have some form of weakness that we're all working on. The key thing is to identify the weakness and then work on it. But that doesn't make you less of a human. That doesn't make you not worthy to be respected. For some persons, you have people in your circle who seem to be doing better than you are, in a higher social financial class than you are, and then you allow them to treat you, maltreat you. They maltreat you. They walk all over you, and then you just keep quiet and you soak it all in because you feel that, oh, they have more, they're wealthier than I am, and then I have to take all that crap. No, you do not have to do that. I'm not saying you should be arrogant, but I'm just saying that you should stand in the light of who you are and know that you are worthy. And if you don't believe that you are worthy, then it affects everything about you. So if no one has told you this in a long while, tonight I'm telling you that you are worthy of love, you are worthy of attention, you are worthy of your dreams, you are worthy to be heard. Your voice is important. So anywhere you find yourself, any space, do not allow anyone to silence you. Do not allow anyone to silence you. And don't think you have nothing to add. That your reality is very, very important for some other person to learn from it. It's your reality. It is your everyday life. No one can know it better than you do. And that's its value in itself. That's a huge value you bring to the table, your perspective. So have an open mind. For those of us who we see the world through our lenses, through the way we've experienced the world, through the truth we've known, maybe the way we've engaged, the experiences we've had, the pain we've experienced, the successes and all of those. And then some of us go a step further to use those experiences to try to define how others should show up. And when people do not show up the way you expect them to, you start defining them, you start judging them. So, this is for us to also do an internal reflection. Do you allow people to show up as the authentic self? Or do stampede people into being silent? Your value system shouldn't be the yardstick for everyone else. You need to have an open mind to trust that other people have their own perspective, which is equally important. One way of growing, excuse me, One way of growing is to open up yourself to learning other perspective, and then seeing how that works out with yours. Be open. So tonight, if there's anything at all I want you to take out of this conversation, is the fact that you are enough. I want you to keep saying that to yourself. For some of us, we need to say this so loud. We need to say this often for us to believe it. We've gone through experiences that make us feel that, we're not enough. You keep beating up yourself. You keep being unkind to yourself. Telling yourself all kinds of horrible things. You're more gentle on others than you are on yourself. Because you just feel that you're not good enough. Who told you you're not good enough? Those mistakes that you've made do not define you at all. It doesn't define you. It belongs to the past. And listen, everyone has had their fair share of mistakes. I've had my share of mistakes and I will keep making mistakes. So, but when you see mistakes as a learning curve, you see it as a building block for your success, for your tomorrow's success. It now impacts on the way you see yourself. You will become more kind and patient with yourself. So you are enough. You are just enough. You can find yourself in the midst of certain people and you begin to doubt yourself. Perhaps because of the way they treat you. Sometimes they don't even treat you anyhow, but because you don't have that confidence in who you are, you don't have that conviction that you're good enough, you now keep quiet. You feel, oh, they have it all figured out. No, it's just that they have confidence and trust in who they are. So tonight, I want you to have confidence in who you are. You are uniquely created. No one can do you like you do yourself. So give yourself the permission to show up as yourself, as you, while you're focused on becoming the best version of yourself. You are work in progress. So keep doing the work. But while you're doing the work, make sure that you know that you are enough. Make sure that you know that you're worthy. There are some, dreams that you would have, and you begin to question yourself. Oh, this is beyond me. I cannot do this. Who told you that you cannot? It starts from somewhere. It starts from a dream. And you giving yourself the permission to take action, inspired action. And give yourself the permission to fail forward. Now, we place unusual on, you know, some kind of unhealthy expectations on ourselves. So give yourself the room to fail. And that failure doesn't define you. It doesn't make you not good enough. Exactly. Teachers, Musioma says you start second guessing yourself. The usual confidence you had before disappears. That's it. As I want you to begin to tell yourself, my mistakes do not define me. How people talk to me do not define who I am. I just says I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Yes, that is it. Don't beat yourself up unnecessarily. So how do you start building a healthy sense of self-worth? It starts first from you acknowledging that you are human and you're prone to making mistakes. That you are human and you're prone to making mistakes. And when you make those mistakes, it is failing forward. So, you make those mistakes. It's a learning curve. You pick yourself up, learn the lessons, and you move forward. Don't stay down in that place and beat yourself up. And then you allow other people to join in beating you up. You are worthy. If there's one thing you can do for yourself this month of love, is to give yourself the permission to feel good, because you really are good. You really are good. When you quit comparing yourself with the next person, maybe then you start feeling confident about yourself. Everyone is running a personal race. And the success of your friend, the success of your sister, the success of your father, your mother doesn't define you. That you haven't accomplished what is expected of you by others doesn't make you a failure, doesn't make you not to be good enough. You are work in progress. Give yourself that opportunity. And I want to talk to those of us who are in business. This is very important because I've experienced it. If you're in business and you've invested your funds and you've lost it the first time, the second time, the third time, the truth is you start feeling, you know, you start second guessing yourself, one. Two, you start feeling that you are not good enough. You start feeling that you're not worthy. Maybe you don't know what it is. But listen, there's always a back end story to every glory that you see. And most times you're not privy to all those stories. For every successful person you see out there is a backlog of failures, is a backlog of mistakes. Honestly. But you don't see all of those mistakes. What you do see is the glory, the shiny surface, and then you use that as a yardstick to measure yourself. Just know that you're work in progress. The other thing I want you to do is be realistic in setting goals for yourself. When you give yourself an unhealthy expectation, you set goals that are too lofty, and you fail in accomplishing your goals, it hits at your self confidence. So, why don't you dream big and you start small? Start small. You want to start business. Can you rethink? Instead of plunging in 500,000 in that business, can you think of starting that business with 50K? Call it a pilot run. Because whether you like it or not, no matter the experience you've had, as long as you're starting that business as a startup, as a freshie, you would make some certain mistakes. The theoretical aspects of learning is so different from the practical aspects. In the practical aspects, in the doing, you will see some gap in the theory. And that's where you carve your niche. That is where you adapt to your own unique style of doing things. So give yourself the permission to do that. And another thing you can do for yourself to build your self-worth is to be mindful of the relationship you engage in. What are the kind of people you surround yourself with? What are the kind of people? What kind of people do you surround yourself with? If you're around people who are always talking so big, and they're not mindful of you, especially when they're your bodies, and they talk so much so that they want to make you feel little. I don't have anything against you talking about your success, talking about your dreams is good. But don't talk down on people that are in your space because they haven't achieved what you have achieved. So look around you. What kind of people do you surround yourself with? Whether you like it or not, they rub off on you. So if you surround yourself with people who are toxic, who like to talk down on you, you internalize what they say, and if you're not grounded, you lose focus. You lose yourself. That's why you see certain persons, because they're not grounded in who they are, they want to show up and pretend that they are who they are not because they fear that they won't be accepted. And I ask you, must you be in that circle? Must you be in that circle that do not allow you to show up as yourself? If you're in a circle that doesn't allow you to show up as yourself, you have no business in being in that circle. Thank you, Divine. She says, walk away from people who wants to talk less of you. Why do you need to be there? Ask yourself that critical question. You know, when I started, I said some of us tie our sense of worthiness, sense of being enough to be in certain relationships. And so we feel that if we're not in that relationship, then we're not good enough. You need to come out of that space. Come out of that space. And then I also want you to also pay attention to your inner critic voice. There's this small negative voice that's inside every one of us. It comes to whisper negative things to you, to tell you how you're not enough, how you cannot succeed. It comes to remind you of all your mistakes, and you entertain the voice, and you go into conversation with the voice, and you even go into a relationship with the voice. And before you know it, that voice takes over you and keeps speaking negative things to you. You need to learn how to hush that voice. When the voice comes to whisper to you, just shut it up and tell it, listen, I don't want to talk to you. Replace it with positive things. And that's why I say, sometimes you need to speak to yourself aloud and say, I am worthy. I am good enough. I deserve more. I am good enough to be respected. You need to tell that to yourself. Some persons may say, oh, it doesn't matter. Let me tell you something. You need to do a lot of deep work on yourself to stand all the things happening around you. Otherwise, you lose yourself in trying to be who you're not, in trying to please people, in trying to show up a certain way so that you can be accepted. When you find yourself doing all of these things, just know that your self-worth is damaged. You need to work on it. And that's why tonight I'm sharing some of the strategies with you that you can work on. At the end of the day, for one of the key things for me is that we all win together. We all win and grow together. And if you're here and your pastime, your favorite thing is to talk down on people, is to make them feel they're not good enough, is not to be inclusive, then you need to have a rethink. Just know that everything you have is vanity. It could all disappear in a flash. But what you have built inside of you is what is sustainable and can stand the test of time. That can stand the test of time. So, like gold, allow yourself to be refined by doing the work. I would also want to, at this point, also talk about the audio course that I have running for the month of February. The 30 Days Abundance audio course is an amazing course. It's one course I never get tired of talking about, because I've seen a lot of testimonies come out from, my clients who have taken that course. I designed it from my own experience, and I know that if you take it and if you're committed to your personal growth, you can't take that course and come out the same way you went into it. It's structured in 4 modules. The first module, we start from looking inside. We deal with things such as your belief system. A number of us are struggling with a lot of barriers. Chief among is our belief system, what we believe. And our belief system is shaped by different things: the family, our background, the relationships we've had, our religion, so many things that most of us do not even bother to interrogate. And we have all kinds of beliefs that are limiting us from growing, all kinds of beliefs that are making us feel that we're not good enough. In some of those belief systems that have kept women in abusive, traumatic relationships, because they feel that without that marriage, without that relationship, they're nothing. And I want to tell you that you're made for more. You're made for so much more. And you need to give yourself the experience to experience that more. And I invite you to take this 30 Days Abundance Challenge course. You will learn to deal with a number of things. You will learn how to become non-negotiable about your goals. You will learn about your value system. You will learn how to design the future you really want. Most of us do not know that we have, the power to design the future we want. We just go in anyhow every day. We don't know you can sit down and design the future you want. Years back, I decided to take my life back in my hands, and I decided to design the future I want. And when I look back, I just keep patting myself to say, girl, you've done well for yourself. You've done well for yourself. And I know a lot of us can experience that kind of life, but we just need to give ourselves the permission to go through that. So I'm talking about the 30 Days Abundance Challenge. Sometimes we call it the 30 DAC, the 30 Days Abundance Challenge. And as the name suggests, it's a 30 days course. Every day you get audio, which ranges from 5 to 10 to 15 minutes. And each day you get to deal with a certain aspect of yourself. And an amazing thing about this course is that it helps you to develop an action plan for 30 days that you can measure. So when you're taking actions, you're measuring those actions at the same time to see how far you are traveling. In the course, you get tools, you get strategies. You also get to do a number of reflective exercise every day. And the best thing about this thing is the course is that you take it at your own pace. And in this month of love, we are having the Take Action hamper for the price of 15,000 naira, a whopping 50% discount. The price for this course is 30,000 naira, but from now up till the 15th of February, you have the option of purchasing this course for the price of 15,000 naira, and you have a lifetime access. So you have it for life. It comes with a workbook. So it comes also with a workbook. You read, you take notes, you listen to the audio, you take notes, you write it down, you can revisit it time and time again. It's an amazing course that I would really encourage everyone who is interested in being the best version of themselves to take the course. If I did not believe in this course, I will be putting it out here. I'm so excited at those who have taken this course and who are testifying of the amazing life they've experienced in this course. Give yourself the permission to become the best version of yourself. So you have a limited time to take action to get a discounted price. Up to the 15th of February, the course goes for just the sum of 15,000 naira and a lifetime access. And you get a workbook, you get the audio courses, you get to be in a WhatsApp group. A lot of work you do for yourself, but it's really paced at your own time. It's a DIY, do it yourself. So even the aspects we're talking about today, the self-worth, you get to do work on that in that course. So as we prepare to wrap up, I want you to think about what you have learned, what has been revalidated for you, and what you're taking away. And for those who are asking me, I got some questions earlier on today. Please just look at the comment section. The link is on the comment section. You can just click on the link and then you get yourself started off. Um, Oziman says, yes, I am a witness of what the 30 Days Abundance Challenge can do for your business, career, and life in general. Thank you so much, Uzi. Yes, Oziman took this course some years back. And it's always for me, it's always exciting. This is a win for me when I see clients who have taken this course come up to say, yes, it did work for me, it did help me, move further. What we've done is to even update the course over the years. We've updated. When we get feedback, we keep updating, and now the course is an amazing one. I'm always so excited. For those who have already purchased the course, I say congratulations. Congratulations and welcome to your new season. Congratulations and welcome to your new season. So for the February, for the month of love, we're giving it at, you know, a discount. Yes, IJ, congratulations. Yes, we've seen your payment. Yes, yes, yes. Congratulations, congratulations. And you soon get your welcome package, and then you just get started off. I can't wait to see you, really so just taking this course. It's an igniter. The course ignites you to action. It ignites you to action. It ignites you to action in ways that you wouldn't even believe. Yes, congratulations. I'm also happy for you. And so we're wrapping up thank you so much for that. Yes, Ojima says that's how teachers consult was bettered. Amazing, amazing, amazing. You're welcome. You're welcome, IJ. And so to wrap up the conversation, we've been talking about self-worth, and I gave some strategies for building your self-worth. If you already at that low ebb, you're struggling to feel accepted, you're struggling to believe that you're good enough, you're struggling to feel that you have something to bring to the table, just, reflect on all the conversations today. And if you're just joining us and you miss a lot of the conversation, not to worry. You can go back to the replay and watch from the beginning, and I'm sure you're going to get a number of nuggets. So thank you everyone for joining in tonight. Thank you for joining in tonight. Don't forget to join us next week. We're going to continue the conversation on taking inspired action. It's always a fresh topic every week, one that will make you become the best version of yourself. So, what are you taking away from our conversation today? What is your takeaway from the conversation today? Olivia says the people you hang out with rub off on you. True. Divine says be careful of the relationship you keep. Okafor Jennifer says Jennifer be realistic. Hot, 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 hot. Yes. A young ladies say dream big but start small. Yes, yes, yes. Teachers Consult says I am work in progress. All right, to becoming the best version of yourself. And I just what says the success of my parents doesn't define me. All right, that's it. And Teachers Consult says again, feel forward. I love this. I love this. Amazing. Okafor Jennifer says, I am enough. I just says, I refuse to let anyone look down on me. That's it. Beautiful. Just keep it coming in, keep it coming in. And you know what? What you believe impacts on how you think, impacts on the actions you take, impacts on how you show up. So I want you to go forward, believing in yourself, knowing that you deserve respect, refusing to stay in that abusive relationship. When a relationship takes away your dignity, when a relationship robs you of that and becomes so toxic, then you need to step back and really reflect. Really, really reflect. When it gets so abusive and manipulative, you need to get back and think about it to know the actions that you need to take. Know that you're worthy, know that you're good enough, you're worthy for love, and that you don't need to pay, that you don't need to beg to be loved because you're just good enough as you are. God created you very uniquely. So I want you to go away with the thoughts into the weekend. Go off with the thoughts into the weekend. Stay focused. Be happy. And be intentional. Be intentional. Be intentional. I've said it 3 times. Be intentional, be intentional, be intentional. Okay. And with this, we come to the end of our conversation tonight. If you notice, we try to keep the conversation 40-45 minutes. You talked, we listened, and we're trying to make the show 40-45 minutes so you can also get to do other things. I'm glad that you engaged. Thank you for always making this interactive. Thank you to my team working behind the scene. Thank you so much for all of you who make it a point of duty to turn up every Friday, 7 p.m. West African time. I say thank you. Without you, there will be no Friday night hangout. And so with this, we come to the end of tonight's conversation. Make it a date with us next week, Friday, as we continue the conversation. Now, the conversation next week, Friday, is going to be something different because we are having a Valentine event, and we're going to be streaming live from that Valentine event. This is the month of love. So I'm going to be hanging out with an amazing group of ladies next week, Friday, and we're going to stream from that event. When it's 7 p.m., we'll come on live and I'll stream from that event. And we'll just let you into some of the joy we're having in that event. Thank you so much, Heidi. I also love, honor, and celebrate you. And I look forward to talking with you next week and just hanging out with you next week. Until I meet you next week, Friday, from me and my team is bye for now. Stay blessed, celebrate yourself, and know that you are worthy, you are enough, you deserve respect, you are unique, and no one can do you like you do yourself. Go forth and be a blessing to the world because you were created for a time like this. I'll always love you. Take care and talk to you next week. Bye for now. Bye for now. Bye, 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 bye. I'll see you next week, Friday. Bye.